On Tuesday, Illinois lawmakers will head back to the Capitol for a single-day special session. Now, they won't be voting on a clean energy deal or the legislature, anything else, by the way. They're going to have just a few hours. They're going to have to redraw, review, reapprove the state's legislative boundaries. An original set of maps was approved in the spring, but due to delayed census data, Democrats in control of the state house used estimates from a different survey to beat a June 30th constitutional deadline. Now, with the full census data out, it's clear the state has major population changes. Minorities have grown over the last decade, and that means more changes have to happen to put Illinois' new maps in compliance with federal voting laws.
Now that the census has been completed and issued, it's proper for the legislature to take another look. So they will look, they will follow the law. If they don't, I won't be supporting their redistricting map. But we need them to follow the law, and we need them, and I set out this, very early on as a focus for their redistricting, and that's to make sure that we're recognizing the diversity of our state in the way that they're remapping.
But Republicans are crying foul. They say the first set of maps was rammed through without their input, or anybody's input for that matter, and now it's happening again. State Representative Tim Butler told the committee last week that walked in on a room full of lawmakers looking at their own district maps, essentially deciding their own political futures.
We've given you options, many options over the last several months, to take the map drawing out of politicians' hands. That's what needs to be done. But unfortunately, we're going down this same process, and it's going to result, I fear, in another flawed map that's going to pass on August 31st, only for partisan political gain for the majority.
Well, for now, the first set of Democrat-drawn maps are stuck in legal limbo. You see, last week, a federal judge rejected efforts by Republicans to invalidate that first set of maps, but the judge didn't throw the case out entirely either. Democrats are being given a stern warning. Listen to minorities who deserve a bigger piece of the pie or face the consequences. Ryan Tolley is the policy director at Change Illinois. He's joining us this morning to talk about the week ahead. Ryan, thanks for being with me. Appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me. Pleasure to be here.
Now, I know it's hard for us to believe that not everybody lives this stuff 24 hours a day, so let's just reset the stage a little bit. Because maps got drawn, the governor signed off on them, yes, some census data came out, and all of a sudden we're revisiting this. But is all of this under the guise, and you're an independent organization, all this under the guise of the Democrats will one way or another find a way to maintain control?
Yeah, I think to kind of lay the landscape, we were in a unique situation this year with census data being delayed. Typically, they get that in the spring, and so we have months to work with it before they need to get a map done. This year, we didn't have that. But I think through the spring, our organization and others realized that ACS, American Community Survey data, really isn't adequate for drawing maps, and we told them they needed to wait for the 2020 census data that is much more detailed so we can understand where people are living and ensure that they get representation they deserve. And so here we are back again because those requests were ignored, trying to redraw the maps because right now they're malapportioned. You have districts that are way too big and districts that are way too small from trying to do it using the data that shouldn't have originally been used for redistricting.
Well, Republicans and minority groups, by the way, are alleging that a near 30% population variance in the democratically drawn House map between its most and least populous districts, that's based on average population, but that exceeds what the law allows, which is a 10% deviation. So is it a fatal error if changes are not made to get in line with that?
Yeah, well, they're going to have to make changes, and whether it's lawmakers do it now and come into compliance, or whether the court says, these maps don't meet legal requirements, the changes are going to happen one way or another. It seems that the court is giving Democrats the leeway to make adjustments, but one key part of this too that's really missing is actually listening to community members. There were hearings that went on last week where community members said, you did not listen to us in the spring. There's issues with how the districts are now for our members and who we represent. And my concern is that this process is playing out the same way, and those requests are going to get ignored again, and we're going to find ourselves potentially in a very similar situation, even with revisions to this map.
So you talk about listening to the community. Well, Change Illinois is one of those groups, again, independent groups, that have been speaking. You guys have testified at so many hearings. I'm just sort of curious. You know, we have folks like Tim Butler saying that Democrats aren't listening. Did anybody listen to you? Do you get that sense? Have you been in touch with lawmakers and get the sense that Democrats are paying attention?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's not the experience we've had. Of course, our original request to wait for the census data was ignored. We've asked, particularly when maps are drawn, to give the public time to review those maps. What we had in the spring and what we're unfortunately worried we're going to see now is that maps get released, public has no time to analyze and provide substantial feedback. One of the big reasons we heard why maps needed to get done in the spring was to say that they had a constitutional deadline to get the maps done. Here we are in August, and there's no state law that says you have to get the map done August 31st. There's no constitutional requirement. So the public really needs to see that map to be able to give insightful input into it. It's really difficult for even groups that have resources like ours that work on this to try to make any type of insightful feedback on the map when we don't know what it looks like. And so that's where the difficulty lies with saying the public has opportunity to provide input, because we're really not getting that through this process.
So let me take that a step further, because you raise an interesting point, which is, first of all, forget about the state maps. We haven't seen the congressional maps being redrawn yet. So I'm sort of curious. I mean, you have people like Rodney Davis, Adam Kinzinger, folks who trying to figure out whether they're going to maybe run for governor, and they don't want to do that until they see what the map looks like, because some Republican out there knows they're in trouble when the maps get redrawn. To your view from Change Illinois, is there a reason that the Democrats would be holding off strategically on drawing the congressional maps?
Yeah, it's difficult to say for sure. I mean, we can speculate. One of the things that lawmakers did earlier this year was extend our primary elections to June of next year. So there is a few extra months of wiggle room. But it really doesn't make sense to me why we're not starting this process now. I think if this process is truly about getting public input, drawing maps that reflect community concerns, community needs, we should be having those discussions now. We shouldn't be waiting months and then going through the same process where we get a hearing posted 6 days beforehand and expect everyone to be able to get their thoughts together, get their input together, and have a meaningful discussion with lawmakers.
The last time I think Republicans controlled things was back in 1990. And look, if the Republicans are successful in getting the maps tossed out, I mean, there is a scenario under which Republicans then draw the maps. Do you have any doubt that Republicans will play the same political game, doing themselves a favor, as opposed to saying, we will be independent about this? We're not about getting power. Isn't that the politics of it all?
Yeah, it's an unfortunate part of redistricting. It's a hyper political process. There's a lot to gain from political parties for controlling the remap process. And that's why we've long advocated to put this in the hands of an independent commission, because this happens in every state, whether it's Republicans or Democrats in control. They use this process to maximize political control. And it's unfortunate that we continue to see this decade after decade with no real change that really focuses back on what communities need.
Very quick question on the city maps, because those haven't been drawn yet as well, but just very quick conversation from you. Black population down, Latino population up. Everybody wants to hold on to their number of wards, 18 African American, 13 Hispanic. What do we expect?
Yeah, city council remapping, I expect to get underway in the next few months. Change Illinois has been working on, we created an independent advisory commission to help draw maps. So it's 13 independent members of the public that have been put on this commission. And they've actually for months now been going around holding public hearings every week to get input and draw a map that does not have the same political or partisan incentives in it, and really listen to community members.
Gotcha.
We're hopeful that will be something that comes into play over the next few months as well.
All right, we'll monitor that with you and talk to you again about it. Ryan Tolley with Change Illinois, thanks for your time this morning. Have a great Sunday.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take one more break and we'll be right back.